Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are finally going to go over the top 16 decks from Malmö Game Week. So, in case you didn't know, Malmö Game Week, there was a Stars Unlimited Open tournament with 76 players, and we had 7 rounds of Swiss on day 1 and then a top 16 on day 2. So these will be the decks from the top 16 and they will be in the order after the games were played. So that means we will have, of course, top 8 and top 4 and top 2 and so on, but the Swiss will decide what deck comes first. And each list will be in the description, so if you want to try them out for yourself, check those out. And I'll try to spend 30 seconds on each deck, so it's going to be a really quick one. And I'm not going to be able to say everything about these decks, so just going to look at some key cards maybe, or if there's anything interesting with the list. So that's the idea. And without further ado, we can just start straight ahead with the first seed. So this is a Sabine Green. Very, very fast deck, as you already know. Probably the aggro deck to play right now. Only 1 Darksaber, so that's pretty special. 2 Timely Interventions, I really like that card. Really nice with all of the units that you also would like to ECL. Only 3 cards that are non-heroism, so energy, so 4 costs will be really good in this deck. And I also like to see Metalstrom only. That's not as common anymore. And now, on second place, we have a Sabine Red. That's pretty seldom to see in the current meta. And it plays completely different to the green one. Like, you have removal, raid, daring raid, open fire, aggression. So it controls the board much more. I also really like the Chaos of War instead of 4 costs I believe in, since you play a lot of cards that are not heroism. So I think this is a very, very interesting deck. And then we have Han Blue. This is what I played. As you can see, it's very, very late game oriented with Obi-Wan's, Luke's, Redemption, Chewbacca, Crate, right? And you also have some capabilities to attack the hand with Pillage and K2, but I focused mine more kind of to aggro or to answer Sabine with no 2 drops, and the Wookiee and Cassian being solid turn 1 plays. And then, I need to catch my breath here. We're moving on to Boba Fett. This is a pretty standard Boba Yellow list. Bounty Guild Initiate is kind of cool though, to ready Toro. You also have Forlom and Zuckus, so a lot of bounty hunters here. Notably no DJs and lurking ties in the side, which are really, really good. New Adventure is also cool to see, being able to bounce a fire spray and attack in for another 5 damage. So this is a fast deck. And then we have the only deck that went 7-0 in Swiss. That was Ordos playing a Boba ECL. And it's pretty similar to the yellow one, as you can see. But it has ramp. And you might want to ramp into Overwhelming Barrage. We also see Relentless Pursuit here and 3 Lurking Ties in main. So a bit more mid-rangey maybe than the yellow one. Then we have maybe the deck that got the most attention at the tournament. So this is a Cadbline Blue. I think it's really, really fun to play. If you want to learn more about this deck, check out the deck we did on the YouTube channel. And this is Stevo. He plays Vanquish, for instance, instead of Rival's Fall and Fell the Dragon. And a lot of ambush units, even Enfys. Then we have another Sabine Green here. Quite different to the first one. No Fighters for Freedom, instead opting for Sundari Peacekeepers. They are pretty good in the mirror. 2 Darksabers, 2 Timely Interventions, and no Medal Ceremonies, but rather some X-Wings. And a Heroic Resolve, also pretty interesting card. And a pretty similar sideboard. Then we have a Boss Green, and as you can see, the image is much bigger here, many one-offs. So some even spicy out of aspect cards like Super Laser Blast and Tech. The idea here is, of course, to ramp with Bosk into some big boys like Crate Dragon, Devastator, and so on. So a really greedy list here with a lot of endgame. And yeah. Then we moving on to Krennic. This is a pretty similar Krennic list to the first set, but we have some sneaky additions here. Dr. Pershing, probably the best addition to Krennic. Being able to draw cards, damage other units to enable the +1 from Krennic, really, really nice. Also very interesting to see Clan Saxon Gauntlet, maybe an answer to Fire Spray. We also have some Palpatine's Return in the side, Relentlesses in the main, so you can lock out those control decks, which is interesting now that Bosk is getting more popular, Bosk Blue. And then we have Han Green. This is a really, really cool deck. The concept is to go super wide. So you see Maskenata being a card you don't see in any other decks. And cards like Admiral Akbar, really, really good. And a lot of cards here are even better to play with Han's ability, right? So with 2 damage and cost 1 less. Like, think about the Guerrilla Attack Pod. That's just amazing. Okay, moving on. We have another Boba ECL, and as you probably can see, this is the exact same list. I think they are teammates. So what can we say that we didn't say before? Boba's Armor is of course a great new card for Boba. Decks really need to respect that and have an answer of some sort. But moving on, we finally see a Palpatine. Palpatine Green is probably the version that's been most popular, but I think you can play him in any aspect base. And the ramp cards are of course essential here, and I think Scanning Officer is very, very cool to see in these decks, because there are many decks that have vital smuggle cards, for instance Tech DJ, which is pretty good, because when Tech is out everything has smuggle, so you can stop 3 resources. Pretty nice. And then we have Bosk Blue. No, not Bosk. Cad Bane Blue. And this is actually the creator of the deck. So Steve-O and Jonah played the exact same list. And as I said, this is a super interesting and fun deck. You see a lot of ambush units, Enfist Nest, and Xanadu Blood is also a really cool card here that can kind of dodge removal cards like Takedown and Fell the Dragon. Yeah. Then we have the third Sabine ECL in the top deck, in Top Cut. And as you can see, this list is a bit shorter. That's because there are a lot of 3-offs here. Very clean list. Only 1 card that's 2-off. No heroic sacrifices, but rather going for, as I said, very streamlined with a lot of duplicates. And then we have the first Kira. As you can see, pretty much in common with Krennic, but Hydlobon Enforcer, Pike Sentinel are some really good cards that you want to give shields. And of course, Avenger being a great finisher for this deck. Also, the Client makes an appearance, did not in Krennic, I think. But Gideon Hask, a really solid card for both to ECL in. And then the last deck for the day is Han Green. So a deck I'm very fond of. I actually think it's still very good in the meta, but we don't see as much of it. This deck has some very spicy cards like McClunky and this Smuggle unit for 2. And Tech DJ is of course a really good combo that you probably know of. Interesting to see the Hotshot Blaster as well. Yeah, that is going to wrap this video up. Gonna be a really quick one. And of course, if you want to know more about Malmö, as I said, check out the YouTube channel. Join the Discord server if you want to have a chat with us about the decks or whatever to bring to your next tournament. Yeah, so that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, and check out the lists in the description. Have a good one.